Hey, what's up? Welcome to 2022. The disembodied voice you're hearing is me. My name is Adam Burt, and I'm your disembodied host for this week's episode of the weekly live show. You'll notice there are no cameras. That's because we had dramatic tech issues, literally like 5 minutes before we were supposed to go live. No cameras are working, and I don't know why. So you're getting a camless show. I'm not alone though. I'm also joined by the ghost of Tyre. Say hello, Tyre.
Hello, I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Christmas is past. It's time for a brand new year, and here's what we're going to be doing today on the show, this week on the show. We've got all the latest industry news, which we're going to run through in just a second. After that, we're just going to hang out, I guess. We're going to talk about Game Pass. We're going to talk about the year ahead. I'm going to try and play a game called the Pedestrian, which is brand new to Game Pass. Based on the tech issues we've had so far, I'm not holding my breath that that's going to work. Let's just see how we get on, shall we? You ready to do some news?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. So ordinarily our Twitch, they're like big webcams right now, and you get to see our lovely faces while we chat, but there's none of that, and there's nothing for you to really look at. So instead, let's talk about the PlayStation VR 2. Imagine putting your helmet on and seeing the wondrous joys that are PlayStation VR 2. It was shown off at CES, and the new headset boasts greater visual fidelity and requires no external camera. It is still wired rather than wireless, which is what some people would maybe hoping for. But it includes things like Sony's 3D audio technology, 2 new haptic hand controllers rather than Move controllers like the current PSVR, and apparently it has haptic feedback in the headset itself, like the headset vibrates or something, which is exciting. The headset also apparently is capable of eye tracking, so it can detect subtle movements of the eye as well as full head turns. And those haptic controllers for your hands feature the adaptive triggers recently seen on PlayStation 5 DualSense controllers. Wasn't just the hardware, we also got a look at Horizon Call of the Mountain from Guerrilla that I would love to show you, but I can't. So Guerrilla have worked with the recently acquired studio Firesprite for this. It's going to be a showcase title for the system. We did get a little look, like I say, it looks quite nice. The clip's quite short, you can find it on YouTube, doesn't really tell us much about how it's going to play. But it's exciting that one of their kind of like big franchises is going to make its debut in VR. What do you make of this story, Ty?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. We've been kind of awaiting this unveilment for a while. I think there's been rumors kind of circulating around, so it's nice to finally see what they've been working on. And it's always great, like we always say, to have a range of different options for people who are interested in hardware like this. So having the PSVR 2 will be really helpful to both consumers in general, giving them more choice, but also VR developers to give them an extra platform that they can reach more people on. So yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. Our next news story then is about Twitch. But you're watching us right now if you're watching us live. So Twitch have reported their viewership grew 45% year over year for 2021, which means that viewers watched 24 billion hours of video on Twitch. This is according to Stream Elements analytics partner Rainmaker.gg, I should clarify. In the last year on Twitch, 3 titles have gained at least 1 billion hours watched. Grand Theft Auto 5, League of Legends and Fortnite. GTA was the most viewed game of the year with 2.1 billion hours of watch time, which is not only obviously huge, but also represents massive growth. That's 175% growth year on year compared to 2020 for GTA specifically. All 3 of them grew in 2021 massively despite being released in prior years. None of those games came out last year, they were all already on the market. As for Facebook Gaming, which is Twitch's, I guess, competitor, their viewership grew 47% year over year and reached 5.3 billion total hours throughout the year. So exciting times for streaming. It's continuing to grow. Obviously last year was maybe a massive explosion in growth. Hopefully they can see that be maintained. There's going to be a lot more streaming action to come. What do you reckon, Ty?
For sure, I think we're just going to see that grow and grow as the interest is really growing because of COVID, but also because people are just really getting into it. It's been quite big for a while, but I think now we're reaching audiences which potentially wouldn't have looked at streaming before. But we've got so many different things on Twitch that people can enjoy. It's really amazing to see these kinds of numbers.
Yeah. Speaking of things that happened last year, Valve have revealed Steam's top grossing games of 2021, so the games that made the most revenue, and only 4 of them were released in the year 2021. They didn't reveal a top 10, they did a top 12 for some reason, 12 highest revenue earners on Steam. And the new releases among them are Naraka Blade Point, Amazon's New World, Battlefield 2042, and Valheim. Which is a little bit surprising. It wasn't the biggest year ever for PC games, but we maybe was expecting a few more new games to appear in that list. The other games announced just in no particular order were Apex Legends, GTA 5, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Destiny 2, Dead by Daylight, PUBG, Battlegrounds, Dota 2, and Rainbow Six Siege as well, all making the cut of the top 12 highest revenue earners on Steam in 2021. What do you make of this trend, Tyre? Is this, combined with the streaming stats as well, those kind of older games, is this a sign that, long life games that stick around for a long time, and maybe is that the way that the industry's going in terms of these in revenue and streaming numbers?
Definitely. I think we can see it in the data, but also in the general kind of chatter around in the industry that these, long-term games are really here to stay, and we can see that from, I can't believe Grand Theft Auto 5 is still outselling most games. I just find that amazing. And we can see kind of from being in the industry and seeing kind of what investors are looking at, that there's a lot of appetite to invest in these kinds of games as well, because they are, as we can see from this data, very good for the cash flow and very popular, and they continue to be a really good investment. So I think we'll see this more. I think we'll keep seeing the same games show up every so often, but hopefully there'll be a few surprises that will kind of change the landscape a little bit.
Yeah. And congratulations, obviously, to the new games on that list. Valheim in particular comes from a very small studio, Naraka Blade Point also. And obviously, New World, Battlefield, both pretty big games from big studios, but congratulations nonetheless on your success in 2021 on Steam. If you like news, if you like reading about our thoughts and opinions and the goings-on in the world of games, then make sure you check out our blog. You can find it at etchuk.com/play. Every Friday, which is tomorrow if you're counting, we launch a roundup blog where we talk about the biggest stories in games and just give our thoughts on them. So there'll be one of those coming out tomorrow. And yeah, other stuff too on there. You can find loads of interesting blogs, things that we've written with our fingers on keyboards, turning them into words. So, shall we play a game?
Let's try.
Based on my luck so far, we've been spending. This is the first show of the year. I've spent hours trying to prep for this show this week, and it's so frustrating to me that it's all fallen apart in the last 5 minutes before we went live. I was so ready, there's so much going on. The cameras were going to be so good this week. You should have seen them; they would have been great. In fact, the viewers at home probably wouldn't have been able to tell. I would have known. It would have been better for me that the cameras were lined up nicely and they were using a new windowed system. However, none of that's working anymore, so let's play a game instead, shall we?
Yeah.
I'm going to play the Pedestrian, I think, which is, like I said at the start of the show, it's newly added to Game Pass, which is exciting. That's where most of my new gameplay comes from. Hopefully, you're going to see it very soon on your screen. Here it comes. Look at that. I think the folks at home can see an option screen for the Pedestrian. Let me just tab back into it. Look, it's me. I'm running around. I'm this man. So yeah, added to Game Pass, and I guess we should talk about Game Pass. We've talked a little bit on the show before about Game Pass. We are fans of Game Pass, I guess you should say. I've got to do a puzzle. There we go. Really simple one. It's had a really good 2021, but now we're looking ahead to 2022. There's not going to be as many big games, maybe. There's no Halo this year, for one. And Sony are also working on a competitor called Spartacus. It seems like it's a growing trend in general that streaming and subscription services are going to be a big deal in 2022. And from a pure software standpoint, 2022 looks really strong for Sony. You've got God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West. Xbox is going to have its work cut out for it, I guess, and there's also going to be lots of other things on PC that are doing this sorts of approach to payment models and approach to streaming and those sorts of things. What do you reckon, Tyre? Is Game Pass going to be under threat in 2022 from competitors?
I don't think it will. I don't think it's going to see kind of being threatened by some of these competitors, but I do hope that they will be spurred on to make it even better than it is right now, which is quite a feat, I think, because as you say, Adam, we're big fans of Games Pass. We really like what it's done to the kind of the gaming possibilities for people, being able to try games without having to, sink a lot of money into them is a really great way to play, and I personally have used it to try things that I never would have tried otherwise. So it's really kind of a good way of opening your horizons. And it'd be great to see, what is going to be next once it's not the only possibility for people out there. Maybe they'll have to do something a bit more exciting that we can't even predict to keep kind of relevant and keep competitive. So yeah, I'm excited to see.
I want to get your thoughts about whether you think, oh man, this is getting complicated over here. I want to get your thoughts about how Game Pass really changes things for marketers specifically, because obviously marketers have maybe a pretty big focus at the minute on the standard way of operating, which is convince someone to spend quite a lot of money on a game, $60 or 50 quid or whatever it is. And there's also a big emphasis on pre-orders and on game reviews and review scores. All those things really matter to a game's success at the minute, or at least a traditional release game success. Do you think that Game Pass and services like that, ones where maybe the barrier to entry is a little bit lower, does that change that dynamic at all?
I think it does. I think it does change the dynamic somewhat, because it changes the way that we have to look at it as marketers at the funnel, at kind of the customer funnel, where we get players in from learning about the game, getting interested, maybe wishlisting it, to all the way to purchasing it or playing it on one of these services. But I do also think that it's not in a negative way at all. I think, as we said before on the show, a lot of this year, people have been kind of a little bit skeptical about potentially what the Games Pass would do to traditional kind of marketing and PR, and how that would be seen in the actual numbers. But we've seen time and time again that games that do release simultaneously on Games Pass and paid platforms. Oh.
Sorry, there was an incredibly loud car just outside my house. He's a big fan of the show. Clearly, he wanted to drive past when we were live.
Clearly. But yeah, we see time and time again when a game releases on Games Pass, as well as paid platforms. Those paid platforms, according to the developers, to the publishers that are giving us this data, don't underperform what they thought they were going to perform like. So what we see is that people are really enjoying using the Games Pass. There is a good chunk of people who will go and try your games in that kind of way, but also there'll be plenty of people who just don't, and they will still be going for the traditional route. So we know that it's still very valuable to have all those different marketing channels that we are used to, but also it's definitely important to consider how Games Pass fits within your marketing strategy. How are you going to make it all fit together so that it all works as well as possible for your game's future, basically.
Yeah. And we got a little look this week at the new titles for Game Pass for January. This is one of them. What do you make of January's selection? We've got the Pedestrian here, which is quite cool little charming thing, I think.
Yeah, I think we've got some really good, exciting ones. We obviously have quite a few fairly large games, so things that everyone would have heard of. We've got Mass Effect Legendary Edition coming through for console and PC, which is very exciting for people who, like some people that we know that have never played a Mass Effect game.
You're calling out Dan Thomas live on the show.
I am calling out Dan Thomas, and I'm also calling... I feel sad for him, because he did buy it right before it got put on Games Pass because we whittled him down. But for those who might be new to that genre, to that game, it's a really good time to get involved in the Mass Effect series. We've also got Outer Wilds, which I've heard people say is coming back to Games Pass.
Yes.
Um, so that's an interesting one actually. That it was on there before, then it went off, and now it's coming back.
So yeah, I think
Um,
Game Pass was originally, so it was on console Game Pass before, but there was like an
ah,
Epic exclusivity deal previously, which meant that you on PC you could only get it if you were a Epic member.
right. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, now it's coming back on console and PC and cloud. So that's really exciting. A lot of people that I talk to, a lot of people online, they still say that this is one of the best games in the world of all history. So I definitely need to play it. I do own it. But again, another really great title for people to get involved in. We've got 2 Tom Clancy games. So we've got Rainbow Six Extraction, we've got Rainbow Six Siege. Siege is out on PC, Extraction is out on console, PC, and cloud. So those are again very popular games. Continue being kind of fairly well populated by players. So another chance for people to get involved and have a look at that. We do have a couple of indies on here. So we've got Gorogoa, which I have come across before, but I haven't played myself. But that's quite a it's kind of like a nice puzzle game told through these kind of beautiful hand-drawn pages, which is really nice to look at. So it's great to see games like that. One that I'm really excited about that's coming is called Paparazzi, which is
Tell me more.
in case the name didn't tell you much about it, it is a game where you photograph dogs. So you're a paparazzi for pups, and it is a gosh, it's on Kit Fox game. There we go. Like I could see it in my head, and I couldn't say it. It's a Kit Fox game. It has been out for a little while, and basically you go around and you take pictures of dogs and you catalog them, and you try and find as many kind of breeds and different dogs as you can. But you also get to kind of explore this world where there's loads of really fun dogs. You get to kind of upgrade your camera. It just sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to play it because it's exactly the kind of game that I've wanted to play for a long time, but just never got around to it. But now that it's on Games Pass, it's like, well, what could be stopping us?
Yeah, nothing's stopping you at all.
Nothing is stopping me. We've also got Spelunky 2, which again is very popular, did really well when it came out, coming out.
Are there any games that are coming out later in the year that you're looking forward to on Game Pass? Like I know that we talked earlier about how it's maybe not quite as strong a year for Microsoft as last year. You know, they had Psychonauts 2, Age of Empires, Forza Horizon, Halo. This year still has some pretty big games, but maybe nothing quite as big as those. Any that you're looking forward to in particular?
So there's a few. There's definitely a few of them that I'm keeping my eye on. One of which is definitely Starfield.
Yeah.
So that's going to be coming out in November. So still got a way to kind of wait. But I'm really looking forward to trying that out. It's kind of one of the most we've been waiting for a new RPG from Bethesda for a while. So it'd be great to kind of see what they've been working on.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, really looking forward to Weird West, which is coming out in March, which is kind of like a isometric RPG based in this kind of Western style, but world which is weird, which is kind of where the name comes from, I guess. Weird West. That game is being made by some people who co-created Dishonored and Prey, which are amazing games. I'm a huge fan of Dishonored, so I'm really excited to see what kind of story they kind of cook up and what kind of gameplay there's going to be. It looks absolutely amazing. And yeah, I think those are kind of the ones that are mostly popping out at me. I've just seen that Frog Detective: The Entire Mystery is at some point coming to Games Pass, so that's exciting. I'm guessing that'll happen once the third game is out sometime this year. And we've also got A Plague Tale Requiem, which is the sequel to Plague Tale Innocence,
Yeah.
which is a lovely little game, which again I own. I have not played, but I'm excited for the sequel, which hopefully will push me to play it. But yeah, lots of really good games this year. For me, personally.
I'm going to need your help to solve this puzzle. Can you see what's going on? I'm so confused. Have you been paying attention, or have you...
I've not been watching,
Okay.
so I don't really understand the
I can
point.
connect these things if they line up. Sorry, the guy on the car's back outside revving his engine, doing donuts outside. So I can connect these to like make connections, but then I'm trying to figure out how to get to the end, which is
where's
here.
the end?
The end is here. So I need to come down a ladder to get to the end.
Okay, so you'll definitely have to. There's no other ladder going down.
I think I might have got this the wrong way around though. What if
Oh
I
yeah,
did it like
there's another
this?
ladder there. Yeah, see if you can put that there.
So this is where I start. Let's start over here.
Yeah.
If I get in here, do you reckon?
Maybe. Yeah, and then that ladder will come up to the second big piece. Do you see?
But the second big piece has this thing in the way, so I can't get past this thing.
Oh.
Unless I can get into this room to turn it on to move it out of the way. So I need to get into this room, and this room.
I think that room must connect to the first big piece. Try that.
What, to...
Do you see?
To here?
No. No. The other big piece.
Well, then it's on the wrong side of it. I can't get in there, I don't think.
On the side there, like that. Does that not work?
Well, then I can't get to it.
Or if you climb the ladder.
This ladder. I'd have to be at the exit to climb up into that.
No. This is hard, right? If I was there with
exactly.
you. So the very bottom piece, can you connect it on the very left?
This bit?
Of... no, the very left. So the ladder that's above that ladder. Do you see that one?
You want to connect it up here?
Yeah, I reckon that's where that should go, potentially. Okay. And then the square piece, that ladder might connect to that ladder.
Okay.
And then that goes there, and then the man... Oh, there we go. I don't know what the game is.
That works. Here we go. In addition to the stuff that you were mentioning, I wanted to mention a couple as well. Like, we've got the Anacrusis, I think is a really cool looking game. It's got like Left 4 Dead vibes. Maybe might fulfill some of those desires people have had to play something a bit like Left 4 Dead, but not Back 4 Blood. It's got a bit of a different aesthetic. It's like a 70s futuristic alien vibe, which I'm excited for, and Somerville as well, which
Somerville, yes,
really,
I forgot
really
about
cool.
that.
I think that's going to be a potential little indie highlight of the year. Okay, let's make this the last one. If we can nail this, we're going to call it with our heads held high.
Oh gosh,
so I'm starting here, and I've got 2 doors to play with.
2 doors, so
the exit is
there's a key.
Here, this is the exit, and it's an upward exit.
So we want to have that at the top, and we want to look at... Yeah, so there's 2 different ladders. So what does the key open?
Key opens this here, this line. You see that?
Yeah.
So we will need that. And we'll need to get past this as well to...
Yes.
Maybe we could make it... Will it fit down here? We'll connect that up. We could...
That might go in the middle.
Go that way. And then if we put this here, we can go and get the key first. Should we try that?
Yeah, but then it doesn't connect to the other one. That goes down there. And he opens that. And then he...
I didn't put that anywhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like it doesn't connect. Oh, there we go, I think that is it.
It's a dotted line though, which I think means it's not allowed.
Oh.
What is it? Maybe
I-
it's fine.
I reckon if you
Maybe
move
it's
that
fine
one,
now, yeah.
yeah, in the middle, then the others I think should work.
Yeah.
Hey.
Look at that.
Oh,
Nailed
that's
it.
a fun little game.
Yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it? I think my problem is I prefer the aesthetic to the actual act of playing it. Like, the idea of running around with these signs is quite cool. Actually having to rearrange puzzle pieces is very difficult. See, look at what's going on here. It's gonna get crazy, isn't it? I can't handle this. It's too much. But I appreciate you taking the time, Ty, to join me on the show today and to check this out. This is The Pedestrian, available on Game Pass, and that's basically the end of our show. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Hopefully next week, if you tune back in at 4 PM on Thursday, we'll have webcams next week, maybe, if we're lucky.
Don't jinx it.
But we'll keep sharing the best news from the world of games, and also playing some games as well, because it's fun, isn't it, to play some games. So thanks for watching. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitch if you don't already, and we will see you next week. Take care.
Bye.
I was waving then. There's no point waving.
I
No one
waved
can see
as well.
me.
Well, we did it.